Welcome to part 2 of the Chevy Metro build. And as you can tell, we are getting straight into getting that radiator fixed by patching it with this JB Weld kit for patching plastic radiators. I don't remember all the instructions. I threw those away a long time ago when I finished this, but basically, as you can see here, you have to mix these two liquids together to make a chemical reaction so that you can put it on the piece of fiberglass they give you to cut to the size of that hole.
No, I did it backwards. Shoot. I got 5 minutes to do this.
You rub this stuff on. You only have 5 minutes before it starts to set, so you have to move pretty quickly. So you put it on the radiator itself around the hole, and then put the fiberglass over that, and then put more of this epoxy resin stuff over the top of that. And I basically just used as much as I possibly could, since it, goes bad and I can't use it again after that. So I used as much as I possibly could and got it completely lathered up.
Just a little more. Might as well use it. Otherwise, it's wasted.
All right, so now we let it sit for 20 minutes to completely cure. I don't know, maybe I put too much on there. But we're gonna let it cure for at least 20, if not 30 or 40 minutes, and then top off the water. Well, it's been about an hour since we put the patch on the radiator, and it is completely cured on the top, but you can tell it's still a little soft underneath. So I'm not going to be putting any water or coolant or anything in this today. I'm going to let it cure for about 24 hours, and then we'll see if that works then. But let's go ahead and get to the next step. So now that this is dry on the outside, my plan is to degrease and spray all of this crap out so that we have a clean engine bay to work with, and makes it easier when we go to paint and install parts and whatnot. Well, I may end up having to use the other can and then go buy a couple more. No biggie. So one thing I do want to do before I spray it down with the water hose is seal up the intake, of course. Don't mind getting that parts cleaner, degreaser stuff in there. That's not a big deal, but water, that is a big deal. So we're going to tape that up. All the electrical connectors, I'm going to put tape over them just to keep them from getting corroded and whatnot. Even though I may not use any of them, I'm going to use a few. The headlights and the turn signals. On everything else, probably no. So I apologize for not having you guys right over here while I'm doing all this work, because it is hot today and my camera will overheat if it's in the sun. So you guys are in the shade at the best angle I could give you. Just don't want water to get in there, that's all. All right. And there's going to be a lot of spraying here because there's a lot of gunk, because there's definitely a leak in my power steering pump or one of the hoses. Look at this Gorilla tape. This is some of the best freaking tape ever made. Pricey, but worth it. Better than any of that other stuff, duct tape or any of that other knockoff crap. Well, my camera died as soon as I finished that first rinse I went ahead and a second time sprayed degreaser and all of the little heavy spots, specifically down here around the power steering pump and the AC compressor, and also back here over the transmission, and then kind of give a light coating to everything else. And then I sprayed it off once more. That knocked a bunch more off of it. Oh, and of course, the oil pan. Wanted to get as much of that as possible, because I'm not cleaning this because I want it to look clean. I'm cleaning this so that if I do have issues with leaks from the power steering pump or from the oil pan gasket or from the filter or from anywhere, I can now tell if there's fresh oil or fluid if I have a leak in that general vicinity, as opposed to it just continuing to cake up and not knowing what's new and what's old. So this is pretty much done. You're supposed to start a car back up after you've sprayed the engine and the electronics and stuff to make sure everything works and you dry stuff out. I want to let this cure for quite a bit longer. I may come and crank on it this evening after it's cured for a few hours. So I don't want to crank it up yet, but I don't think we'll have issues me covering those vital areas with tape, and then everything else is plugged in, so I shouldn't have any issues there. And then of course I didn't spray around the electrical fuse boxes and relays and whatnot, left that part alone. The patch that I did earlier on the radiator is completely dry from what I can tell, so I can put some water in it and we can start it and we can check the level. Let's go ahead and try to crank this thing out and see if we got enough oil and see if the radiator holds. Turn the heat on. This down here is the goes to the overflow tank, so it's okay if that leaks. Sounds like the motor's running nice. In fact, everything sounds a lot better than it did. Okay, main thing I'm trying to test here is to see if that radiator patch held, because when this thing is just idling or running, oh yeah, that's bright. When this thing's just idling or you're not driving it very hard, it doesn't create a lot of pressure, and even though there was a hole in the top of the radiator, it would not spray out of that hole unless I really got on it. So now that we've got the patch in place, let's give it a little pressure and see if we will have a leak. Dude, what the hell? Let's give it the beans. Something's hitting. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's one of my cables I have hanging down.
Sounds like it.
Or if that's the fan that's still bumping something.
It's okay, buddy. We were just taking a quick one. Billy wanted the ride to be longer.
Well, maybe after I put up the chickens, if he doesn't freak out. I smell coolant probably coming out of that. As you can see, there's a little steam. Yeah, it's coming out of the overflow pipe, which is fine. I do see a little bit of steam coming from somewhere. I don't know that that's not... Yeah, that's the oil burning off that I spilled. Yeah, I can smell it. That's the oil burning off that I spilled. The patch, nice and hot, seems to be holding. I don't see any leaks around the edges. Does look like it's doing the trick. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be the end of this video or if this is just in the middle of one long video. if it is going to be the end of this video, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. What is that noise? Is that my power steering pump? Now we know that's an issue. Sounds like it probably is. Probably need to replace that. Or maybe just delete it. I mean, this car only weighs 1,800 pounds. Okay. Billy D, Geometruin, on out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Rinse it off one more time. Damn roosters. Rinse it off one more time, and then hopefully everything will be